Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Interviews, Heart and Soul Conversations. I am your host, Kim DeBell, and I'm joined again with my favorite co-host in life and all things powerful and beautiful, my husband, Symbia Kyle.
Salute.
Salute.
And thank you for having me.
Of course. So we start a brand new month. This month, our theme is Black men, the thoughts of Black men. I decided, since we had such great dialogue for June talking about Black love, I decided to let's have some men to come on and share about their experiences and how they are navigating being the powerful people that they are in these challenging times. Today, our theme that we're going to talk about in the thoughts of Black men is healing.
That's right. Healing is a very, very important subject. It's always relevant, no matter what's going on, no matter what age you are. Living in this world, you're going to have to do some type of healing, some type of renewal, rejuvenation. So this topic is very much needed. Then, a lot of brothers, in this society, we've fallen off younger and younger, got a lot of health issues pertaining to, mind, body, emotions, and so forth. So we're going to dig in a little bit tonight.
Yes. And our first guest is Brother Haleem Abdul-Rahman. And he and he is a holistic coach and practitioner. I couldn't get that P out.
Take your time, babe.
I know. I'm excited because the reason why I'm so excited to have him is because I've seen him not only teach the work, but he is living and doing the work in his life every day.
Brilliant brother, very inspirational, and we definitely want him to share his story.
Yes. So without any further ado, we are going to add him on. Let me unmute him. Boom. Brother Haleem.
Hey. How y'all doing?
What's up, bro?
Y'all look good together.
Very strong, definitely strong.
What'd you say?
I said y'all look good together.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let me sit up a little straighter.
So Haleem, as you heard, the theme is healing. So,
yes.
And with the type of work that you do, from what I know, you are very focused on healing Black men. So what started you on this journey and this quest to be a holistic healer?
Okay, that's a very good question. As the wise woman that you are, you go to the root or the foundation and the beginning of things. And I was like typical Black man, typical man, not so concerned about my health.
Mm-hmm.
And coupled off with that, I was carrying a depression that I didn't even know I had. I've been depressed for I don't know how long, but it was uncovered when I finally went into drug rehab that I was clinically depressed, and I was using street drugs to cover it up. Street drugs, but also activity, playing basketball, playing football, playing baseball, dancing, laughing, joking, the whole realm. But when I went into my solitude, that's when all of the hurtful thoughts and, my life memories and why this and why that, why me, and all those questions. And I didn't really have an answer that was uplifting, because I was coming from a place of victimhood. Why me?
Right.
Why I had to be abandoned, why I had to be placed in foster care, why I, all that. And it put me in a place of solemn. I was sad, depressed, and to liven myself up, I would use street drugs. And over the years of using those street drugs, my body became very weakened. And as a result of my body becoming very weakened, I exposed myself to HIV and hepatitis C. And this is like in 1996, 1997, when people was literally dying. So I had a double diagnosis of HIV and hepatitis C, which the medical doctors, or I'll call it allopathic doctors, they didn't have an answer for it, because the drugs that they would use to help my liver would weaken my immune system. My immune system was already weak to the point of if it was weakened any further, I just wouldn't survive. So they told me there's nothing that they could do for me, and it was just so by happenstance, providence, that I driving home, thinking that, well, I did it to myself. At least I had that thought. And I heard Dr. John Chazelle and Dr. Patricia Newton. They were on radio station in Baltimore, WEAA. They was talking about HIV and hepatitis C. And, like on this particular show, Healthline, where they talk about diabetes, they talk about high blood pressure, they talk about all the things that we are suffering with in the Black community and African American community. But in this particular show, nobody was calling. Usually, the lines are filled up.
I used to listen to all them shows all the time.
Right, but then nobody want to talk about HIV and hepatitis C. So I called up, and they greeted me, and it was like, so happy that somebody would come out and just acknowledge the fact that they're suffering from this shit. Oh, excuse me, my language. That they're suffering from it. And these doctors, they were holistic doctors, but they were so gracious that they invited me to lunch. And I'm at that time I'm frail, weighing like 130 pounds. My face was sunken in. I was my face was blackened, like looking like death, ready to come at me. And I was, kind of shy and ashamed to be in their presence. They had all this energy, but they made me feel at home. And so, they told me, Dr. Chazelle said, do you want to live? Because I told them what the doctors had told me. Say, the hell with what they're saying. Do you want to live? I said, yeah. And he said, well, if you want to live, these are the things that you have to do. And first thing that he told me, that's why I really appreciate the joy factor. One of the implementations that you have, Kenda, is that he told me that I have to laugh. He said, go to the comedy factory, find, even if the jokes ain't funny, laugh anyway.
That's right.
Yeah. And so that was one of the things that he told me. And then he taught me about how to cleanse my body, to pull the toxins out of my system, put a castor oil patch on my liver, so I'm, let it soak into my liver to pull, loosen everything up. Because I was at the state what they call well, my liver was corroded, and you know, real like caked up, and it wasn't able to do anything. So the castor oil pack softened it up over time. I think it took me about a month for it to actually soften up, and all that corrosion started, you know, breaking down. And when I had a bowel movement, I mean, it was so black. It was, you know, like all that, you know, all that waste that I had put into my system, you know, just was eliminated. And then you know, they started telling me the things that I had to do to, you know, feed my body with the nutrients that it needed to begin the healing process. And at that time, I was like, you know, my blood pressure was high, my kidneys were failing. You know, I had a lot of complications, but by the grace of the Almighty and good people, I was able to survive. And they did all these things for me, and they didn't charge me anything. They just, you know, gave me a charge that I would, you know, not just heal myself, but that I would use this knowledge to help others. You know,
Powerful, powerful. Look, I just want to take this moment to acknowledge our great ancestors. They're both ancestors now. So I want to acknowledge Dr. Chazelle and Dr. Newton. Peace be upon them.
Yes, powerful people, no doubt.
That is a powerful entry place to begin this conversation. So one of the things that I definitely heard is that you were depressed and did not know it, right?
Right.
And I think there's a lot of us, women and men, that are what I like to call functionally depressed, living and moving through misery and pain and trauma. But what I would say, and please tell me if you agree, I think that men are trained to soldier through emotional pain as well as physical pain, but really emotional pain more so than women, right?
No, I agree with you. Absolutely. You know, as guys, and I never lived in a body other than a black man, so I don't know what it is to, you know, for others, but I do know that in our particular culture, to admit hurt or feelings of being saddened,
Yes.
you know, those type things are not encouraged. In fact, you know, if I'm with my homeboys, you know, and I'm like, you know, talking about how bad I feel, you know, they be looking at me like, you know, I want to get away from this chunk. So, there is incidences where, you know, like if you've already connected with a brother and, you know, like you're going through something, you know, that, you know, you pull them to the side, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. But the culture in general, no, you got to put up the front, you know, especially if you are like, you know, outgoing guy and you are like a soldier type, and you're in the company of strong soldier men, you know, you have to put up that front in order to survive. Yeah.
So how is that detrimental though? Does it cause us to undermine the need to address certain issues that need to be healed, whether it be physically and or emotionally?
Well, from my perspective, I would say that it has this powerful point in the sense that, you know, you're not like victimizing yourself. You're not saying, woe is me. But on the other hand, of not being able to come forth and express certain things with a determination that I can overcome it, you can't even express it. And so not being able to express it, it becomes internalized, and all of the sadness and the grief and the frustrations and, you know, the stresses, they lock into our system, and as a result, there's no movement. So they'll latch on to the liver and to the kidneys and the heart and all these particular organs, and put those memories in those organs, and then, you know, your what they call your resonance, or the place of your being internally, becomes a place of sorrow. And because you're in a place of sorrow internally, all you can really function on is your facade. You know, you function on your facade, and it works when you're in public. But when you get into your private moments and, you know, the true you, you have to address that. And then some people don't even address the true you, and when they come into their private moment, they just live the life of fantasy, and until that situation becomes so drastic that you have to go to the doctor, otherwise you're going to be, you know, eliminated from the planet. You know, so to me, it just makes sense to live in a culture where freedom allows you to, you know, be expressive of all, you know, the pain and the joy, you know.
Most definitely. And being a survivor of cancer, I can testify to what you are saying. A lot of us do not understand that the pains that we emotionally carry, the dis-ease of our spirit and our mind, if it's not addressed, will manifest. Not trying to rhyme, but you know,
no, you're right. You're right.
know,
Absolutely.
It will. So okay, so you got your health on track, right? And so then what was the next level where you said, you know, I have to take this out and share with
Absolutely.
with others?
So during that whole episode, I was going to what was then what they call support groups, and individuals literally saw me transform. You know, they saw me, you know, like starting to come back to life. And, you know, I had family members, friends that had, you know, like written me off, you know, that, you know, we got to prepare for his funeral, you know. And when they began to see me transform, specifically those that was in the support groups, they started asking me questions, what kind of medication you do. You say, well, you know, I'm not on medication. You know, they wouldn't give me no medication. When they did give me the was I forget the name of it, but it turned my fingernails black because my liver was the first thing to heal. So when they saw my liver healing, they, you know, gave me I can't think of the name of the medication. One of those early.
You don't need to name it. We don't want to put it out there.
And it turned my fingernails black. So I'm like, if it's turning my fingernails black, that means my blood is getting destroyed. So I stopped taking it, and I just, you know, continued, you know, taking all the nutrients that was given to me by Dr. Chazelle and Dr. Newton. And I explained it to them that you know, you have to bring joy into your life, and you have to like transform the way that you think, and you have to see yourself in the future living happy and in abundance, that you're gonna, you know, survive this thing. You have to literally see it. And then you have to, start working to build your body up. First, you got to tear it down. You got to get all the toxins out of your system, and then start building it up. And I helped a lot of people with my advice that I gave them, and then individuals started coming to me with other concerns that I had to deal with as well, like high blood pressure and kidney failures, and a lot of women were coming with me with vaginal problems. So I had to do some research. But I researched it from the same perspective that I got my healing, from a holistic perspective. And as a result, I was able to fulfill my promise to Dr. Chazelle and Dr. Patricia Newton that I would help others with the knowledge.
Yeah, we definitely see you out here fulfilling that promise, brother. But I didn't realize that, they gave you that charge. I think that was a beautiful charge to receive.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that we have a lot of these health issues in the Black community, but I want to look a little deeper into some Black men and Black male issues. I know we have several, but if you could say top 1 or 2 issues that you see that most Black men are facing pertaining to our health, what would you say they are?
Ego.
Ego.
Because, and I mean unhealthy ego.
Right.
There's a healthy ego. I am. I'm a warrior. I will survive. The language and the dialogue that we have, internal dialogue that we have, for survival purposes, and we're going to overcome this, that, and the other. Though that's a positive ego, but the ego that's won't allow us to reflect on the situations that are hurtful. It destroys our possibilities and chances of overcoming certain situations. So we ignore our prostate issues until it becomes so drastic that we got to get the prostate removed. We ignore our blood pressure issues, until we get to the point where they're giving us medications that is so, the medications are so harmful. I mean, it works on that particular situation, bring the blood pressure down, but it constricts our blood vessels, work to destroy our kidneys, our liver function start fail, so they have all kind of side effects. And the reason why we have to get those hardcore medications is because we never addressed the situation when we had a chance to heal them with food and meditation and thought and just, happy feelings and changes within our own psychological structure. So no, go ahead. I'm listening.
No. I was just going to say, and I know that you are very serious about what you're saying, because I met you at Psalms and we had deep dialogues about healing and your transformation. And now you are leading a group of men in this healing there. Am I correct?
Yes. I'm one of the peaceful warriors, you call facilitators. And I don't know why they gave me the charge to.
You just spent 30 minutes telling us why.
Yeah, but they gave me the charge to get guys more connected to the inner, or what you might say, feminine, and I'm saying it.
Feminine.
I'm saying it that way because a lot of guys, you start talking about a man having feminine qualities, and he should embrace those qualities. You know, like he's ready. You know, man, I'm ready putting the dukes up.
Yeah, ain't no feminine in me. I'm all man, man.
Yeah, I know.
But that's that false pride that Nina wrote about in the chat.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I try to get guys, and you know, sometimes I just gotta say inner self.
Yes.
Because you know we put up the wall if you say the word feminine as if it's a bad word, but the true reality is that our very beginning as a human being was internal. You know, our sex organs was internal, and if we had the Y chromosome, we were programmed for it to drop. But other than that, we had a vagina. We had ovaries, you know, or they would have developed as that. But we had the Y chromosome, which told us to have the sex organ drop and become an external expression. So for us to, like, you know, deny the inner glory of our being is the beginning of us putting up a wall against our own healing, because the feminine qualities or the inner qualities are the power source, the mitochondria of each cell. We inherit that from the mother. And the mitochondria of the cell is where, you know, the energy, you know, the intelligence, you know, all of those factors that get the cells to function and operate at the optimal capacity. We got to strengthen the mitochondria.
Comes from mommy.
And so I like that you mentioned that, because, you know, in this society, power is a like the big priority. Power to do this, power to do that. As a masculine man, you got to be powerful, and we focus on our power externally. But where do we as men get our power? What is our source of power? You know, you touching upon the feminine as being the power source. You know, so go ahead.
You know, in my course, I talk about stroke sexually. And, you know, like the masculine, you know, that runs out. But when you can incorporate the internal pull, lock, and release, or put it in another term, feminine, pull, in, lock, and release.
Yes.
You have staying power.
Hey, you're doing some strange things to my lady over here, man.
Yeah, staying power. And so I use that as an analogy or metaphor to say that us guys, you know, like when we just, you know, running, you know, not reflecting, just doing, and not coming within and giving it thought, meditation, prayer, you know, we neglect the balance of life. And life is all about balance, you know, and once we discover the balance and start actualizing the balance and becoming the balance, you know, we have longevity, you know, our years become increased, and we are able to release a lot of the stress or the cortisol that is one of the foundations for death and disease. You know, we release the cortisol, And so I don't want to make it seem like it's only guys that have this problem. Women have this problem too. Like they get stuck in their ego too.
That's why you have the breast cancer, ovarian cancer, fibroids, hot ovaries. Yes.
Yeah.
So we both seem like both sexes tend to undermine where the source of power comes from. But we know that, like you mentioned, it's said in the society that men die younger than women. And that looks like one of the reasons, always going, putting out, but never taking the time to slow down and connect from within.
Yeah. And I like to use sexual analogies and metaphors. Like if you're a guy and boom, you through. Next thing you know, you want to go to sleep. It's like you've taken away something from yourself. But on the other hand, if you into the rhythm of sex, and you can gather that energy, pull that energy from her and elevate it, and then release from yourself and create that cosmic flow. Your orgasm release is like, you're not wanting to go to sleep.
Let me interrupt you real quick. I told her to do that again because it felt so good when she did it. I experienced the subtle energy exchange.
Yeah.
I felt energized.
Yeah.
Just by her leaning on me like that.
Yeah.
And squeezing me like that.
Yeah.
Well, you also know I'm a blue butterfly OG, so we know how to do it right.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
And you're an OG peaceful warrior, so we can get together.
Yeah, that beautiful exchange of energy, and so that's when it comes to healing, it's similar, is that you got to slow down and feel the subtle energy, like I didn't even know that my liver was so messed up, even though it was sitting out like this, because I was just going, hustling, getting that dollar. I got to get me a blast. You know what I'm saying? Day by day, hustle, and the drugs cover up the feeling. But when I took the drugs out, and I could literally feel my liver being, like, wow, man, goodness gracious. This ain't nothing to I don't want to feel like this.
And I just wanted to add, addiction doesn't have to be street drugs. It can be sex, it could be pornography, it could be even work. You think that
it could be chemicalized food,
working. A lot of people think, well, all I do is work. I'm working, but they're addicted to work as opposed to going home or having that downtime to deal with themselves.
Social media,
all of that. So anybody say, oh, well, I'm okay because, I don't do no drugs. You have something quite possibly if, that you are over indulging in to not be more mindful. I just want to put that out there.
I know, I agree with you, and balance is the key. Balance is the key. Like you have some individuals that are so into the natural way that they wouldn't consider an allopathic drug. Then you got other people who are so into the allopathic drug that they wouldn't consider the holistic approach, the natural way, you know. But to me, it's about finding the balance. Now, I want to take as less medication as possible.
Of course.
But if the situation comes to the point where I have to take a medication for a particular thing, I'm going to take that medication, but I'm going to, you know, use the foods and the herbal remedies to minimize the what do you call side effect.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
So I think I heard I think it was Dick Gregory, peace be upon him, that says stress is the #1 killer of black.
Yeah, cortisol.
Yeah. So what are some of the signs of stress, the contributors of stress, and then what are some remedies of stress?
Okay. See, stress is one of those things we call the silent killer. It's silent because a lot of times you be under stress and you don't even recognize it because you become so accustomed to it. I'm driving down the road and an individual cut me off. You know, my body automatically goes into fight or flight. So I got to react. You know, that's stress. Now, if I'm not conscious of the fact that I encountered a stressful situation, I will allow that cortisol that came into me at that moment that my body needed to respond to that situation. I would allow it to continue to exist because I'm not conscious of the fact that it's still there. But because I know what I know, I experience something like that. When I'm get out the car, you know, I'm gonna stretch and release it. Good breathing exercises. You can breathe through your mouth or through your nose. To me, the nostril breathing is the more beneficial because it creates nitric oxide, which opens up the blood vessels so you can have a better blood flow and a better elimination. So the breathing exercises, the stressful exercises, the consciousness of speech and taking stress out of speech patterns. So, and this is one of the things that I like about the up-level communication created in songs by Kenya K. Stevens and her husband Carl Stevens, that it you know, puts you in a place where you're not trying to create a lot of worry, and you know, even when you're speaking, your tone of voice is softer, and so the response that you get from the person that you're speaking to tends to be softer, so you're not creating the cortisol buildup in the communication. I was talking to my daughter today, and I recognized that I was like preaching.
Oh, precious.
You know, I'm like, I'm going to force her, you know, to hear what I'm saying. Then I caught it, and I softened my voice, you know, looked in the eyes and, you know, started saying basically the same thing, but I was saying it from a different spirit and different tone of voice. So I wasn't creating the stress in myself, and I wasn't, you know, overstressing her. So our communication was, you know, got better. And that's one of the big factors in jail. You know, everything is loud. You know, when the cell lock, boom, you know, and it's a very stressful environment. You know, in the inner city, you know, you drive down the street, the individual talking loud, cursing their children out, blah, you bitch, this, huh?
them sirens, them fire trucks, them police.
Yeah, fire trucks, everything, you know. And so as a people, we more than any other, I would say, have to come into the spiritual practices, you know, of self-love.
Yes.
And bringing joy into our lives and overlooking you know, little stuff that ticks us off, you know. Hell, she's in the store with a bonnet on. She got bedroom slippers in the store. You know, that don't make no sense.
Don't turn this conversation down.
I know, I'm just saying, you know, like I told my daughter, I said, baby, I said, you know, huh?
Does it really matter? Like, come on. There's whole.
It don't matter that much to get us out of our character.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I did tell my daughter, if you go in the store with me, you're gonna put some clothes on.
Well, okay. Yeah, this is thoughts of Black men. But yeah, that's true. I ain't going to add to that. You know, but let me ask you this. So basically, this webinar that you are having on Saturday, July 17th, it sounds like what you are offering is such a wealth of knowledge from not just what you learn, but what you have grown through and implemented and perfected. I'm having a problem with my P's today.
It's okay. I understand exactly what you're saying.
So
and you're right.
So tell us about this webinar that you are hosting on July the 17th.
Yes. The webinar is about men's health. And the name of it is Sexual Healing from the Inside Out, a God's Man Journey, Sexual Healing from the Inside Out. And so what we do is address the full spectrum of masculinity from a sexual standpoint. And what a lot of guys don't know, and I say they don't know because I've talked to so many, that what's going on inside of them has a direct reflection on the power of their penis.
Okay.
You know, like if and this is why I know that a lot of guys be fronting. I know it because you can't tell me that in the African American community we have the highest rates of hypertension, we have the highest rates of kidney failure, we have the highest rate of prostate cancer, we have the highest rate of heart disease, we have the highest rate of diabetes, and all these factors that directly affect male potency. We have the highest rate of the full blown. But what about when those situations are developing? They're not already full blown, but they're developing.
Yes.
It has an effect. And so this is why I say that the ego is so detrimental to us, of the false ego. You know, the truthful ego is the ego that's going to say, I'm going to do something about this.
Yes.
You know, the false ego say, you know, like, you know, blame her. It's her fault. She was more sexy, I'd be all right. You know, we just lie to ourselves. You know, so when we talk about a God's man journey to sexual healing, we're not putting the focus on the penis itself. We're putting the focus on brain health. You know, getting the pituitary gland functioning at its capacity, getting the heart functioning at its capacity, clearing, you know, our system from all the toxins and heavy metals and waste that's literally competing with the nutrients that we put into our bodies. So we put nutrients in our bodies, but we got all this stuff, you know, that's eating it up before our body gets it. It's like, you know, you have a military ran society, and they dropping food to feed the people, but the military get the food and they feed themselves, and the people don't get none. That's how these toxins and the heavy metals, they just rob us of the nutrients that we need to function at an optimal capacity. So we teach how to, detox, from the physical, and detox with liquids, and then, the mental blockages and the emotional blockages. We, talk about how to get rid of that, and how to, get the blood flowing properly, and then, all getting all the organs, to, function, the heart, the liver, the spleen, kidneys, the pancreas, the prostate, all that.
Of course.
Yeah, because like a lot of guys, they think they can get it from just take a pill.
Right.
Give me a Viagra, go to the gas station, get one of them pills, and they might work for a minute, but eventually they stop working because we haven't addressed the core issue. And the core issue is the internal structures. So that's what we do in the first 6 months. We address all of those concerns, and then in the second phase, or the second 6 months, we start working on relationships, how to pleasure and please our mates. Different techniques, alignment techniques, and stroke skills, and all those kind of things. So this is a complete course, and I'm encouraging the women out there to encourage their men to take this course, because it's going to take a lot of pressure off of you to have him heal, and you two can work in unison with each other.
Look, let's talk to the brothers, man. Look, just like Haleem said, go get out of here for a second.
Don't be showing off for company.
Staying your feminine. This masculine thing going on right now. Brothers, we know you having issues, man. Look, you're living in this society, and if you have a typical American lifestyle, you under the typical American stress, if you have the typical American diet, eventually when you over 40, you're going to be faced with some of these issues, man. So I mean, just like you said, Haleem, you talk to most brothers, nah, I ain't got no issues. I'm good. I ain't got no issues. Man, stop lying. I can look at you and tell you got some issues, man. Okay, those who have eyes that can see and have the trained eye, we can see what's going on with you. You ain't hiding nothing. You ain't hiding nothing. So let's not let the ego, get in the way of us getting the healing that we need. Okay, there's no shame in having issues, because we all been raised in this ignorant ass society. It raised us ignorant, and we get it well into adulthood not really knowing who we are, how this equipment really supposed to work, this mind, these emotions, these feelings, this body. You need to come under some type of training. So don't even front. Check out Haleem's course. It's brilliant and it's powerful.
All right, I appreciate that. Get him straight, Kenda.
I'm going to go ahead and let him show off for a company. We'll manage this after the cameras go up.
It's all good. It's all good.
I know.
Yeah, it's all
good.
You don't put some of that butterfly love on them. You know what I'm saying? No, but on the real tip, yeah. When I was in my second state, I wasn't, my condition was nothing. I wasn't waking up in the morning, with no morning wood. I could lay with a woman and she could do everything in her power to bring me to attention, and nothing that she did could help me. That's how bad off I was. After overcoming, all, situations and putting some techniques together and whatnot, I became strong. And then I went through a period where I was just like consuming anything. I just lost my discipline. I was just, eating drinking those green teas that had all that high fructose corn syrup in it. I was, just eating chocolate cupcakes, all kind of crazy stuff, just going crazy. And I'm starting to wake up in the morning. I mean, all throughout the night, have to urinate, and situation hit me again. Lady, she doing everything in her power, I mean, like everything, anything I asked her, she willing to do it, and nothing. Until I found out that, my blood sugar level was like 500. And, I had to, incorporate some things to bring it back to normal. And so now, like I'm functioning between 95 and 110. Sometimes it go a little lower, sometimes a little higher, but I'm usually
that's better than 500 and something. Lord, yeah.
Yeah. I had to bring it down, and now, when I wake up in the morning, and I'm 66 years old, so I know that when individuals address their health concerns, that they can do better. So, like in my course, I have a diet regimen, and nutritional supplements that I encourage men to take. And I know that at my age, if it has a particular effect on me and what all the things that I've gone through, guys that's younger, I can't imagine how potent they will become. And in fact, I've coached a few guys who were able to get out of their ego and be coached by me, and I'm telling them specific things they need to do, and they thank me later.
That's awesome. Yeah. I remember a product that you had, Sweet and Tight.
That was for the women.
That was a good one.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm trying to. I remember that I did the audio for it. Sweet.
Yeah. That was a beautiful voice you did. Yeah.
Haleem, you are an extraordinary being, an extraordinary brother, and your story is powerful, and there's more chapters that you are adding every day, which is even more, to me, powerful and awesome. Okay,
I appreciate that.
We appreciate that, because you are out here healing people, and I want you to share again how people, now I do have it ticking across, but I want you to let folks know how they can contact you, because I'm sure when people see this, they're going to have some more questions, and I want them to be able to reach you. How can they contact you?
Well, they can DM me, Haleem Abdul-Rahman, DM me through my Facebook. I would really prefer that they use your link to put their information in, so that we can send them a Zoom link for the webinar. And in the webinar, I'm going to explain to them the variables and the different functions of the membership. Individuals can opt out of the membership anytime that they choose. But this membership, the way that it's designed, is to start individuals from ground zero and bring them to the point where they are at their optimal capacity, regardless of age, regardless of condition, regardless of gender identity. If you're in a male body, you're having the same issues.
Okay.
And I think that's another issue that we have to get our heterosexual men to realize that our homosexual brothers are our brothers. I have a biological brother who is homosexual, and see, I also know that some of the foods that we were given back in the 60s, that welfare food had estrogen in it.
That's right.
To transform our biology. And so, they are our brothers, and so we embrace them as well. So this is for, of course, anybody that has a male body will benefit from healing themselves from the inside out and get their full capacity. Get the mental blockages away, shame and guilt, emotional blockages. Yes, this is from the holistic perspective. Get the shame, the guilt, the emotional blockages. I'm not enough, and why me, and all of those things. We're going to address all of that, and there's a particular diet that we're going to encourage. Different herbal blends, and then, like I say, in the second course, we're going to deal with techniques. And so in that second course, I'm going to have one of my friends who, they're going to deal with, the homosexual aspect, because I don't know about that. I'm focusing on the heterosexual techniques and how to love a woman, and this, that, and the other, and he'll address the other side. So, our theme is that we are one, and the separation part. Individuals can separate themselves however they want to separate themselves, but as far as I'm concerned, we're one humanity. So we'll have white people taking the course. We'll have Hispanic people taking the course. We'll have men of all ethnic groups, and so this is. When I say holistic, I mean holistic.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful.
I want to thank you so much for sharing and for teaching and for joining us tonight. Anyone that is interested in this webinar, this free webinar, so you can get tapped into this information that Brother Haleem is going to be teaching, go to bit.ly, and that is bit.ly/free men's with an S health webinar, and get on that list, because this brother is not just teaching you from some books that he read. He has lived it and is living it now. And so you want to get into this class. And if you want private consultations, go to www.consciousconsultants.com. Consultations. I'm sorry.
Yeah, with an S. Conscious consultations
with an S.com. Is there anything else you would like to share before we close out?
No, just encourage everybody to take advantage of this opportunity to get this wealth of information, and happy healing.
Yes. So make sure that you join us next Thursday, same time, same Facebook channel. We will be talking to Khalil Masi. Am I saying it correctly? Yes.
Mfundishi Khalil Masi.
See, that's those proper names that I have to let him say properly. And next Thursday, we are going to be talking about men and lineage and fatherhood and legacy.
And warriorship.
And warriorship.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
So thanks, everyone. for joining us. Haleem, once again, thank you, and we'll see you
I
next
appreciate
Thursday.
it. Remember to smile and bring joy into your life.
Hey, let's sign off with some laughter. Come on, sign off. I can't hold this.
You know what?
Hey, when you put the realness in it, oh, it really works, baby.
Yeah, it do,
That's
man.
right.
Yeah, it really works.
It does.
All right, love.
All right. Peace and love.
Yeah.
All right.
Peace.
Take care.